Hey, Backyard Gardeners, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jay, and here we are in mid-August. I've been so excited to make this video because a lot of us are just plain exhausted from this crazy summer we had with the intense heat. In the beginning of the summer, we had all that rain, and here we are right now where our gardens are looking very exhausted. A lot of our tomatoes are pretty much at their end and they're starting to fade out. And it seems like there's just like weeds everywhere, and it's tempting just to say, I quit for the season because this is too much. I'm overwhelmed, which I hear a lot of people saying. But actually, this is the perfect time for a good reset to clear out all that what's been done, some of the summer crops, clean things up, and get into replanting a crop that's going to thrive in the cooler nights that we have coming ahead of us. So the fall gardens are basically a chance to reset everything, clean things up, and it's a lot calmer. It's a lot easygoing in the fall seems than the summer, and also it'll give us an opportunity to get a nice harvest right before the wintertime hits and all that cold weather hits, depending on where you live. So let's jump into it and just never give up. All right, so I'm going to start over here in my little greenhouse here. Let me back up. Show you my little greenhouse. You guys remember this from some of the other videos if you've watched them. So I basically started some zucchini plants right here. I have some Romanescas, the squash, and then also in here I have cauliflower and broccoli, and I do have cabbage here somewhere. I think actually this is a cabbage, this little one here. There's two little ones in there. And right here, I have some more zinnias, another run of zinnias. I like to keep those going. And then right here, this is actually romaine lettuce. Little cute little baby romaine lettuces. But look at these nice babes. Look at these broccolis. Brassicas are really good to start right now. And then up here is dill. And you can see some pieces of grass in there, but whatever. And then also over here, I started some more lettuce. I had to start it a few times. This is my red lettuce and my butter lettuce, and then some more romaines that are just started. I had my little chipmunks come in here and basically mow these all down on me. So anyway, I had one survivor. So anyway, I had to replant all those. And over here, I actually have some. Let me go ahead and lift this up here, show you a better view. This is a cucumber plant. Let me come into the shade here. These are some cucumber plants that I started. So these are going to be ready really soon to, they have their true leaves on there. So they're ready to actually go on the ground. I'm just kind of getting them used to the sun a little bit. So it's called, basically, you want to harden them off. So hardening them off means they're ready to go into the ground. Because if I take them right out of this greenhouse, which some of the, if you look at some of the sun is blocked, and then put them right directly in the sun's going to just bake them. So anyway, hardening off, basically you put them in the sun for a little while, like right here. This is probably their fourth day outside, so they're pretty much almost there. But anyway, look at these sprouts. This is another round of sprouts I just did. You could always see this is the radishes, see the red. And then this one here is a broccoli, beautiful. And this is another broccoli. I did another round of these. I actually feed these to my chickens too, as well as we eat them. And that is in my last video that I just did. And also in these Tupperware bins, I have to put a little piece of cage over here. Let me take this off. But, sorry guys, with the camera here shaking all over the place. This is some of my summer squash. Let me zoom in here. See right there, that's basically a scalp squash. That one there, like a it's called sunburst squash. And then I have some of my other zucchinis and my other summer squashes. I'm doing another round. And these also, I don't know if you can see here. See the little piece that's sticking up over to the side? This little thing right here. This, it got eaten by a chipmunk. So I had to put them into this little container, and I put this little piece of chicken wire over top of it. Here's another set underneath the sprouts here. These are some more yellow. Let me actually get in here. Give me 1 second here. This is some more of my zucchini and yellow squash. So we eat a lot of zucchini yellow squash. I had one survivor here. And same thing. I had to replant all these. Good thing I had extra seeds. And this is just in like a regular Tupperware bin here. All right, so I think that's some of my starts. And also want to show you this. Look at this baby. This is my cantaloupe. I put the nets over here. Oops, sorry, I didn't have it in the camera. I put this in a net that I actually was from another cantaloupe, but I tie it off on the vine. And let me go ahead and just show you that real quick. Let's go for a little travel here. All right. Do a little pit stop, see a chicken, trying to get all my little flowers. Anyway. All right. So here we are at another cantaloupe here. This one here is also tied off. And I tie them off so when they break from the vine. Actually, is this one? This one actually is off the vine too. So this one's ready to go. Oh yeah. This is the vine piece right here is connected to. So anyway, I put them in the little nets so the nets actually catch them so they don't fall into the ground and fall victim. And here's another one right here. I have to actually tie this one up because this one looks like it's probably ready to go anytime. So I'm going to put that net that I had on the other one that I just showed you around this one and then tie it off right here too. Oops, right off to my trellis right here. All right, so let's get into our other stuff. So since the nights are going to start getting a little cooler now, the seeds will take longer to germinate. And this is just part of the care and maintenance of a fall crop. The key is keeping that soil nice and consistently moist, and adding this layer of our homemade compost will actually keep the temperatures very, very steady. I have my drip lines in here already, and I'm just going to put this out right now just to kind of give it a little refresh. That's part of this whole full-time video, is kind of do a little research, a little reset and a refreshing of our gardens. Oh my gosh, you should see I have my chickens blocked off. They're very upset with me right now because I have them fenced off where they can't get in. So anyway, I'm going to just level this out, and it basically just builds a whole bunch of nice, beautiful nutrition right back into, all this organic material right back into the soil here. And I'm going to put my fresh beets here and carrots. So, which works out nice because this adding this mulch here for this compost, it's actually nice and loose. So that'd be really good for those plants to start off. So let me go ahead and level this off. And I'm really excited because this year the beets were so stinking good. Unbelievable. I was eating them raw. I was eating them in salad. I was eating them basically steamed with a little bit of butter and salt. Oh my gosh, so stinking good. Both of them came out excellent. Very sweet. So I'm very excited about the fall time crop because it should be even sweeter. A lot of your root vegetables like that, they're actually a little sweeter in the fall because you have those cooler nights and it adds a little bit more sugar into the plant. Just like apples, same thing. That's why apple harvests are better in the fall, because you have the warm nights and then you have the cool warm days and then the cool nights. And that's where the sugar is activated into like your apples and peaches. So, all right, so I'm going to get my seeds and get started with this. Okay, so you see these two PVC pipes here, and basically what that is, that's just my mark out so I know where my drip lines are. And it just kind of gives me a little bit of a guide. And right here I have a little packet of early wonder beets, and it says 48 days to maturity, so that's perfect because we have just under 60 days left before the first possible frost. And with the frost this year, I usually get it around like October 12th, but they're projecting it to be a little bit later in my zone 7, zone 7A. So anyway, I'm going to just make a hole in my finger, and just going to show you somewhat in real time. It says 2 inches apart. So I'm going to do, and I'm going to make double rows, make them on each side of the drip lines. All right. And these, like I said, these were so stinking good last time. It was the belief, like, most people think like beets are, ugh. These were really good. So I'm just going to drop it right in. Some of these seeds are a little small, so I'll drop 2 in. These have a pretty good germination rate, so not really worried about it. But yeah, I'm just showing you basically, if you're like right next to me, what it would be like. So you could do it yourself at your own house and have a good, successful full harvest. All right, so basically I just put all those in. Just gonna kind of cover it up a little bit and then kind of compact it down just a little bit, not a lot. Later I'm gonna go back and water it, and I'm gonna basically use fertilizer, like a water soluble fertilizer. Water soluble just means basically a fertilizer just that you could add to water. Oh, here's a stick. Let me get rid of that. All right, I'm going to continue it down here a little bit because these are so good. All right, let me just put a couple more in here. I missed a hole there. Cool. All right, got them all in there. And so I'm going to compact this down just a little bit because this is very fluffy compost. So, all right, I'm going to do the next row here. So I'm going to continue on into my next row, doing some red beets. And beets are just so rewarding because they're not only packed with vitamins and minerals, but they also give you those deep, earthy flavors that really shine in like some of your fall cooking. If you want to roast them, you want to boil them, or just slice them in raw and eat them in a salad. They're a crop that you'll be glad that you have in the ground right now in a few weeks, like a month or so down the road. So I'm going to be doing my golden beets the same way. I'm going to be making quite a few rows of those. And also in the same raised bed, I'm going to be doing my carrots, because the nice thing about all these cool nights coming ahead, all these will increase with sweetness, because the roots of um, these little root crops, they store sugar the colder it gets. And carrots especially are worth extra sowing because they're easy to grow, they store really well, and they just fit in about any meal that you make. We just made some chicken noodle soup just recently, and oh my gosh, it just makes the soup so good. It's like a fresh carrot is so much better than a store-bought carrot. So, I just pulled all my summer harvest of all these items, and now I'm planting for the fall. So I can't wait to get this harvest going. All right, so next up, I am going to plant some of my squash plants. I have 4 squash plants here, and also have 4 cabbage plants. And I still have room for a few more things, but I'm waiting for some of the things to finish growing, where they're big enough to actually put out and bury. So let me go ahead and put some of these in here now. But these squash plants are basically a summer squash, and they are ready to go in the ground, and it's the perfect timing to put them in the ground. I have just enough time to get a nice harvest out of these. These grow pretty fast anyway. These the Romanescas, Castata Romanescas. So I have enough time to grow these. And I'm just basically just going to put them directly right into the ground. No fuss. And that's it. And I'm going to grow these vertically. So what I'm going to end up doing is actually just putting a like a tomato cage around these to grow them more vertical than having them spill over. Okay. And these are those, if you've seen in some of my other videos, these are little cages I made out of chicken wire. And the reason why, these little cabbage plants would be a nice little lunch for my chickens. So they don't really care for the squash as much, but they really do like these guys. So figure I already had enough issues with the chipmunks chewing on basically all my some other summer squash. So, but this, before I started, I put down a whole bunch of nice fresh compost, just like I did when I went through and did the beets and everything. But yeah, these are nice. Pretty excited. Make some homemade coleslaw. And I also like when we take all these little bugs. When we take the cabbage and we saute it up with some meat and other vegetables, it's excellent. Almost like a goulash, I guess you would call it. So let me go ahead and get... So this stuff is actually really easy to do. It doesn't really take too much to do all this stuff. I mean, if you're not going to grow any of your own stuff, like you don't have time, you could just, maybe pick it up at like a nursery or something. Well, grub. Too bad one of your chickens aren't over here right now. You just pick it up at a nursery, and transplant them right in. Just make sure they've been hardened off, just like we were talking about earlier, that they're ready to go right into the ground. You don't want to just put like these plants have been sitting out for a little while, so they're kind of ready to go. Okay. Let me go ahead. I'll start down here again. Hey, little mama chicken. Checking things out, making sure everything's good. Man, I just had a grub I could have gave you. Where were you? I don't know if you guys probably can't see my little chicken sitting here watching everything I'm doing. But she is definitely making sure that I'm getting this in the ground today. That I'm not going to put it off another day. Right? Is that what you're saying? All right. It's beautiful. The cabbages. Fresh cabbage is so good. You would definitely love this cabbage. But I'm getting it in the ground before you can come over here and chew it up. Oops. So if you don't want those zucchini plants, they eat the bugs. There you go. Usually I rotate my crops. I had my other zucchini plants here that I had to pull out because it was pretty much the end of the season for those plants. They ran their course and then they got hit with some bugs, which is very hard to avoid. right, got my last one here. And then now I'll have my squash in the ground and my cabbage. All right, so like I said, these are gonna go up vertical. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna be using these tomato cages that I have laying around, and they're not my favorite, but I'm about efficiency and reusing other things that I already have. And that's why I make these videos, so an average person could do them with things that they have laying around their house. Because there is a point where you could make a nice trellis system, and which I'll do in the future, and I'll make a video about that. But for now, I'm going to use these tomato cages. So I'm going to finish this up, and then I'm going to go right into the next section, which is with the lettuce and the cilantro, the dill. Okay. So as a part of my reset, I cleared out a few of my old tomato plants to open up this space in these raised beds. Instead of being empty and sitting around the rest of the winter, I'm going to be replanting some crops that thrive in the cooler weather ahead, like romaine, red leaf lettuce, buttercrunch lettuce, along with some dill and cilantro. These are some pictures that I had from my earlier crops. And lettuce is one of the easiest and most rewarding fall crops. The cooler nights will basically keep it crisp and tender, like this beautiful lettuce that you see here. And the shorter days means that you don't have to worry about anything trying to bolt, especially like romaine. It'll leave those leaves really crunchy. And the red leaf lettuce will bring a lot of color. And buttercrunch is so soft and mild. Now for the dill and cilantro, both of them love cooler weather too. In the summer, the heat, they both kind of bolt quickly, but in the fall, they grow really steady and full, giving you fresh flavors for soup, salsas, all kinds of salads and tacos. Everybody loves tacos. They don't need much space, and they're ready to harvest in just a few weeks, so making them a perfect follow-up crop for after the summer tomatoes. So that's my full reset, clearing out the old, replanting with some crops that thrive in the cooler weather. So don't quit yet. This is one of the best times to grow. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it with a friend, and please subscribe if you haven't. And let's keep growing together. And I will see you on the next one.